Okay, welcome back to the Success Money Marriage Podcast, episode number 14. I'm Steve Siebold.
I'm Dawn Siebold.
And today we're going to be talking about listening to your spouse partner, in both in business and your personal life. Listening is one of the most important things. So I'll let you kick it off, Dawn. I know you're a listening expert because you've been telling me that for 38 years. That's all I know. Yes,
I think I am. And I'm happy to start it off.
Okay, you started off.
No, I think that it is really important to listen. I think men listen differently than women do. I have a tendency to listen to the detail. Differently.
What do you mean by differently?
Well, because I listen to like all the details and I want to dig in, and when you listen to me, it's just
blah, blah, blah.
That's his listening skill.
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
Sorry. Did that come out?
That's his listening skill.
I was thinking that I shouldn't have probably verbalized that.
Yeah, probably not. I do. I think I'm a better listener in business and in the relationship.
Better than me?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Okay, because every man out there knows that we just want you to listen. You don't have to solve every problem. I want to share the information. You don't necessarily have to solve the problem. I just need you to listen.
I am man. I solve problem.
Since when?
That's what we do, since caveman.
Oh.
And before that even.
Well, you're behind a minute.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's nice. So that's the way this is going to go today.
No, I'm just saying.
This is actually our wedding anniversary.
It is our wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Oh, like you didn't know.
Oh, you can kiss me.
No, I'm not kissing you. You said you're a better listener.
See how he didn't listen?
Yeah, but you're coming right being competitive right away. Combative, I'd say almost.
I didn't. I'm being.
It's our anniversary.
No, I think that women are better listeners than men.
Oh, just women now in general.
I think so.
We're just generalizing for a whole.
I think so.
Segment of the population.
Well, you tell me what you think.
Well, I think we do listen differently. I think men and women do just listen differently because I think we do try to solve the problem because you guys go on and on and on, la 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 la. It's like, come on, let's get to the point where I solve it. And then so I don't have to sit there and listen for 4 years. I just like to say, okay, let's cut. So let's stop right there. Let's solve the problem. Then can we move on? For the love of God, can we move on? Do we have to go into every little detail? I'd rather just solve the problem and move on to another problem. Is that so bad? Does that make me a bad person?
No, not at all. But I'm not asking you to solve the problem. I just like you to listen.
Yeah, see, that's weird.
Yeah,
it's just weird. You women are just
when
weird.
It gets to the point where the women just stop talking because they're not listening and they're just wanting to solve a problem, then I think that does create some separation in the relationship because we stop talking. And the women that are listening to this, y'all know we do that, right? So you spend years trying to get the guy to listen to you, and then we just stop talking because we know it's not going anywhere, and we go to our girlfriends and maybe other friends. So I do think it's important to figure out what your listening skills are. And if you need to work on them for the relationship or the business, then you need to work on them. Because what happens usually, and I'm not an expert in this, but women just start shutting down because they know you're not listening. So I do think that if that is an issue in your relationship, you probably need to work on it.
Yeah, it really is a serious thing. I mean, because I think, we do listen differently. Mm-hmm. And I think you guys really do like to just, or not you, I shouldn't say you guys, I should say you, I guess that's my experience, but you want to just get it out there, and we do want to solve the problem, and that's a real thing because they're two different things completely. You just want us to listen.
Right.
It's just hard to listen to somebody I know I can solve, and you can't solve it, obviously, because it wouldn't be a problem if you could solve it. I can solve it. Why don't I just jump in and solve it and we get done with it?
Okay, so what's interesting that's happening right now is that he thinks the only time he has to listen is when we have a problem. When I just like having a conversation with him, and I would just still like him to listen, even though it's not a problem. So,
give us an example, Dawn.
Just having a typical, okay, what did we talk about today at lunch?
What did we talk about today at lunch?
Mm-hmm. We spent 40 minutes at lunch. What did we talk about?
We talked about a lot of things.
Give me just one thing we talked about.
Talked about our Factor meals, which are very good. Not one of our sponsors on this podcast, but we'd like them to be.
Actually, we did not
Factor food meals. They deliver them to your door. They're awesome.
That's what he had for lunch.
I know. We talked a little bit about it.
We did not.
We did.
What did we say?
You said you're eating too fast. You should have heated up more. You bossed me around a little bit.
I never said any of that.
Yeah, you did. No, I just made it up. You said, you're eating too fast. You're going to get a stomachache. You got to heat it up more. You bossed me around 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Yeah, that's usual. But, okay. What else did we talk about? Some other things?
Okay, I did not.
Okay, what did we talk about? What did we talk about?
No, I was telling you about my call that I had and how I'm setting up this new way of presenting and how I was putting together, calling how never to lose money. And
right. Got it. Yeah, no, I got it.
Okay. Case in point. All right. I don't need to continue this podcast.
I mean,
No, I mean, I'm serious. I think guys think you only have to listen when we have a problem. And I think women start shutting down. And in business, it's even more difficult because most of the times, since I do the details, that I need Steve to listen is when it's not good. Maybe there is a problem.
Can you just get to the point, though? I mean, not now, but I mean, like in general with it, I think the guys just want the women to get to the point. So you just get to the point.
So how can we resolve this?
Give it to me in bullet points. 3 bullet points you got. Okay, give it to me in bullet points. Send me an email first, then I'll solve it, and then I'll come to you and say it's done. We don't really, unless you have something else to say.
But can't you just listen when we're not having an argument?
But why am I listening? What's the purpose of me listening without solving something? I'm just hearing you out so you can. And that's why you guys have gossip parties with your girlfriends.
We have to because men don't listen as well as.
But what's the point of it?
Because we love each other. Because we love each other.
So we're just listening because we love each other.
Yes. I listen to you.
What do you get out of it?
You go on and on.
Yeah, but I got something to say.
You don't.
I mean, I'm solving problems. I am man.
Really? Oh, boy. This podcast is going down. Maybe this should be podcast 28.
We probably need a marriage counselor.
No, I mean, seriously, on a serious note, I think men really do think, especially in business, that they only have to listen when there's really good news or really bad news. And the everyday dealings of how our business runs, Stephen's not interested in it at all.
I'm interested in it.
Well, then how do I
Here I think this is one of the problems.
Okay.
All right, with men and women in business, depending. I mean, again, I have one experience with one wife, and that's enough. But seriously, you do one thing and I do another in the business. I mean, now we'll take it to business, listening in business, because, when we talk about your side of the business, Dawn's side of the business is the detail. She runs the actual business part. So she's doing the numbers and we review the numbers, but she actually does the numbers. So, and she does the detail stuff. So she wants to have a little blueprint, a business plan, all that stuff. And I'm typically doing the coaching, the speaking, the writing, and the media, the television, the radio, whatever. And I'm out there doing that stuff, the creative stuff. And I come to her with a vision piece saying, okay, I've got this idea. Here's what I want to do. And she's like, okay, what are the details? What does it look like? Draw it out for me. I'm like, I don't know. I don't have that much detail down. Well, she's detail, and so she's looking for details, and I'm big picture, so I'm looking for big picture in the stuff I do, and I think that's the conflict. Mm-hmm. Now, some couples probably they're the same. They're either both the big picture or whatever you want to call our side, my creative side, whatever, and you're the detail. Okay, great. That's all wonderful. Blah, blah, blah. How do we do it? How's that going to happen? Where are we going to get the money? Where are we going to get the resources? Where are we going to get... I'm like, I don't want to talk about that stuff right now. I just want to talk about the big picture. But I see where you're coming from because you're the details. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's your take on that? Yeah,
no, I think you're right. I think you have to be lenient with each other. And matter of fact, today, funny enough, I got up from having lunch and said, I don't even want to discuss this with you anymore because he's not listening. Because
I was really happy
he's not
about that.
Interested in the details.
And I was really happy about that because it was kind of boring.
So for a lesson for our audience, it is important. It's really more important to me that I got this figured out than it is to you. You just care that I got it figured out. So
just
I think
mine,
Okay.
No, I'm listening.
You're not. He's doing it right now.
I'm not. I'm listening.
He's doing it right now.
I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to be better.
We're live right now, Stephen. Just act like you're listening.
Okay, I'm listening. Wow.
No, I think it definitely is something that couples need to talk about. Because it's an issue, and I think that you and I have a way of communicating with not having to listen too much. But if you are one of those couples that have both are high creatives or both details, I think it's more difficult because you're on this. I think stay in your lane. We talked about that before, and I try to listen as much as I can. Steve tries to listen as much, but it's not as easy because we're doing two different things.
I'm listening. I'm just so engrossed.
Oh my God,
what
that's what it looks like.
What you're saying is so fascinating.
Wait a second.
I can't even
hold on a second.
Focus on anything else. It's like you're mesmerizing.
Wait, hold on. That's what it looks like. You listening? Wow. I'm so happy. Hunter, I'm glad we got this on tape.
Okay, here's my next part. Here's my next question. What if one of the spouses, let's say, is more bossy or really bossy? I mean, not talking about anyone in particular, but then the other person. What happens then?
I've never experienced that situation.
I know you haven't. Okay, moving on. Sometimes, the bossy one just wants to shove it down the other person's, other spouse's throat, just being bossy.
And what does this have to do with?
Maybe she even has a sign that one of our clients sent her that says Miss Bossy Pants on her desk, on her actual desk. That one of our clients sent her. Maybe, I don't know who that would be. Oh, well, Oh, that's you. That's right. Sorry about that. So what's your take on that? Bossy Pants? Miss Bossy Pants?
I don't know what
you just don't even know what I'm talking about, do you? She has a sister. Donna's a sister, Dee, and she's a fantastic person. And Tim is her husband. And Tim always says, I have one of her. He listens to Dawn boss me around. He'll say, I have one of her at home. That's a great line. And neither one of them see it. They're like, why? What do you I don't understand? What do you mean, bossy? I don't get it. This is my life. This is it.
You can check out
Married to Miss Bossy
You can
Pants.
check out anytime you want.
Now where am I going to go now? Now you got me. I'm the gorilla in the cage. So, okay, all right. So let's move on. So, but I mean, I think on a serious note, really, you do. It's a skill, you know. And I think like it is hard. It's sometimes even painful for me to listen to details, not because of you, just because of anyone that's into great detail. It's just because it's not my personality style. Mm-hmm. And you're not really comfortable listening to big picture stuff because you're always trying to figure out, okay, wait a second, that's all great. Where are we going to get the money for that? What are we going to do this? Which I get, which you need in business. I mean, really, you have to have both.
Balances it.
Yeah, otherwise you got the dreamer and you got the person on the ground, the granular person. And I think that's probably why we've been, had the successes we've had, just because we run opposite sides and we really don't cross over each other's stuff. Right. I mean, I'll listen, but then you pretty much make the final decision on that stuff and then vice versa on my side, don't you think?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and again, I think if it's an issue in the relationship, you definitely have to talk about it because I mean, there are times where you have to sit down and go, Dawn, I need you to listen to me. And I'm like, I try to clear my plate and just really listen. There's times I come to you and go, Stephen, you have to hear this. You got to listen to me. And if you have to sit down and do that, respect each other's, time and, bring it to a point as quickly as you can. I try to. I'm sure I probably ramble too much and I'm sure I'm bossy, but when it really comes down to it, when it's running the business, when it's important, you may have to sit down and say, okay, look, I need you to listen. This is important. You need to hear this.
Yeah, I think the last thing I'd want to say about it is that it's just communicate with each other because you're going to, especially in business, because you've got a business together and then you have a personal life together. So you're together a lot and there's a lot going on and there's pressure and if you've got kids and you got, other things going on, who knows? People have busy lives, right? So there's a lot of pressure and things and it's easy not to listen. But I think if you're communicating, and we joke around a lot about this, we joke around off camera even, but I think if you're talking to each other and when it's really important to listen, that then as long as you're communicating, you're okay. And I think you just have to build up the listening skill. I think we've done that over the years. I don't know how great we are at it, or good we are at it, but we've gotten better for sure because you have to. If you don't, you won't be married for one. You won't be together.
Right.
You'll be divorced.
And the business will suffer.
And the business will suffer, exactly. So you're just going to lose all the way around.
Right.
Unless you really, so you have to communicate. That'd be my last thought. What's yours?
Yeah, I just be patient with each other. Just say, if it's really important, you're going to have to sit down. Don't keep getting frustrated. And women, don't just be quiet because that ends up that's what happens with us. I just stop talking because I know he's not listening and that's not good. So when it gets to that point, you need to sit down and say, okay, I need you to listen to me. This is really super important, whether it's your relationship or the business.
See, I just listened to that and I'm thinking, I've known you and been with you for 38 years and you've never stopped talking. So I don't even know what to say. I don't know. I mean, it's never, was there a pause in there during the 38 years? Because I've never heard it.
Can we cut that out?
Okay. All right. Well, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you on the next episode, number 15.
Bye-bye.